Good afternoon, everyone. How you doing today? No, not technical difficulties. It's the Keurig. The Keurig is going off. It sounded terrible. It sounded like someone was using the bathroom. So I had to wait for just a minute till it's still kind of going there. How's everybody doing? Good to see you. We got a good group going in here today. Let's go check it out. Coke was here. Coke first. Awesome, man. Kevin's here. Chris and Brennan. David, good to see you, David. How's everybody doing today? Oh, Joe's here. Let's see. And Evan's here. Awesome. I hope everybody's doing good. For those of you who are back to work, this is the end of the work week. I was back to work this week too. It's been a little bit of a challenge. How is the guitarist upstairs doing? Now that is a great question. It's been less frequent. There was a big blowout last week with people being called, and ever since then everything's been kind of quiet. So we've had a week of less of the ceiling shaking and the stomping and all that stuff. And I've heard a little bit of jamming, but the volume's been lowered. So anyway, we're doing guitar news today. Thanks to Chris Ward for getting this together for me. I appreciate it. We have some good stories today. Going to take a look at just a little bit of news, Academy news. Let's talk about the experiment that's been going on ever since the COVID-19 has been happening. Up until yesterday, I have been putting out content every day on YouTube. And what happens during the week is on Monday, we have the podcast. And then on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I cut it into 3 segments and put those out on YouTube as well. Didn't happen this week. It finally caught up with me. It took, we've been doing this for a while. 2 months, 3, I don't know how long it's been, but it caught up with me yesterday. So, but that was going to happen pretty soon anyway. As the summer rolls on, I've got some work to do, Academy work to do. So I'll probably be during the week doing that. So I may have been rolling those back anyway. Kevin says the Keurig strikes again. Yes, it's terrible. It's a terrible sound. It smells good though. I can't drink coffee, which is one thing. Can't eat chocolate either. I have problems with caffeine, but I enjoy it. It smells good. So let's take a look here. So Joe says, hello, Lee. Hey, Joe, man. Good to see you. I hope everything's going good down in Florida. Wearing your mask. Not going to bars as of today. Bars, they opened and then they went back. Opened and then they went back. Master of None, good to see you, man. How you doing? Happy you're here. Hey, Evan, hope work's going good for you today. If you're watching later or if you're just kind of hanging out without chatting, you're welcome to be here. This is part of our community hangouts. We'd like to get together on the weekends and talk guitar and do some different stuff. And I like these Fridays things. It kind of signals the end of a bunch of junk and have a little bit of fun. So we got some really fun things to talk about today. One of them is about Prs Guitars, which is really neat. Master None says I'm good. Hope you're well. I am. We're well. We are doing just fine. So I'm gonna get this set up while we're talking here. Let's see which one we're gonna talk about. I'd like to talk about the Prs. There we go. Get a nice picture of it right there. And let's head on over there for our first topic for today. There we go. And Lending Tree got in on this too. But there it is, man. There's the Prs. Let me get my wonderful. No, here we go. So it says legendary British guitar maker Burns is back. New ownership seeks to revive the iconic brand, beloved by the likes of Jimmy Page, Elvis Presley, and Mark Bolan. Iconic British guitar company Burns. They've been revived. Let's see here. Heading up the venture are Simon Gilson and Terry Hope, the founders and former owners of PMT, UK's largest musical instrument retail chain. So got some good people behind it. Gilson said there's only one true historic guitar brand from England, and that's Burns. It was the one that was in right at the beginning, and it has all that amazing history and still has tremendous potential. And he says, speaking personally at the time, Terry and I were almost through the process of selling PMT. And once that was completed, we said, well, we've done it with retail. Wouldn't it be fantastic to say we also did it with manufacturing? Timing was right. And there's a cycle in the vintage market. We're only 3 or 4 years away from vintage coming back and we'll be ready. I thought this was pretty cool because, well, mostly the Jimmy Page stuff. I loved old Burns guitars that has this kind of, even though it's a British company, it has this kind of Western appeal. So it was kind of neat. It was a neat, maybe at the time when Burns was a leading brand, that kind of Western style was big there. But I always thought they were really cool looking. I love seeing the pictures of Page's Burns. Let's see. I don't know if there's any other pictures here or not. Have you ever played a Burns? How about the folks in the UK that are hanging out with us today? Have you ever got to play one? I've never played one, but I always thought they looked pretty neat. It says a new product will come out in 2021, mid-range at first, then with the custom shop models. They're going to be genuinely made in London by craftsmen faithful to the brand, and there'll be things of real beauty. I think that's pretty neat, man. I love when I liked when Dane Electro came back too. That was fun. The old Masonite guitars, they're hollow, real light. They were kind of neck hit. I did have one of those. So it's still, no, we don't have it anymore. We had they called it a Hodad was the one we had, but they had all sorts of, redid the old Dane Electros, and they were a lot of fun with the lipstick pickups and stuff. So let's see here. Chris says, I've always liked the look of the Burns. Played a bass once briefly. It was nice to play. And Coke says, how about those pick guards? And what's up with the bridge? Yeah, pretty neat. Didn't play. Let's see. Let's go back to that. Yeah, that bridge, man, is awesome. I don't understand how it works, but I love it. I don't understand it, but I love it. And Chris says, didn't play it long enough to describe it, but I remember the bass was very easy to play. Pretty neat. So it's looks like a 5-way Strat configuration. And what's the tone volume, 2 tones? So that may be just their Strat right there, but really neat. I like the way the pickguard is and the bridge. Pretty cool stuff. Okay, so let's head back over here. Check out our next story here. And this is Tom Morello gifts a 10-year-old musician his signature guitar after a viral Rage Against the Machine cover. Let me get my... So it says... Tom gifted 10-year-old Nandy Bichelle his signature Fender Strat after the young star went viral covering Rage Against the Machine's Guerrilla Radio. Like the rest of the internet, Tom was wowed earlier in the month when 10-year-old musician Nandy Bichelle covered Rage Against the Machine's classic. And not only did the Riffmaster praise her on social media at the time, he now gifted the young star with one of his signature Soul Power Fender Stratocaster guitars. In a heartwarming reaction video posted on Nandy's YouTube, Tom films a message for her explaining, "Hey, Nandy, I'd like you'd have this guitar as a gift from me to you because you rock so great. And to see someone rocking so great who's so young, it really gives me hope for the future." Unsurprisingly, Nandy's absolutely thrilled with her present, not only reacting so happily in the video, but also writing in the description, "Dear Tom Morello, thank you so much. I can't believe this is real and you actually sent me a message in your signature." That's the coolest thing about the time that we're living in. That stuff would have never happened when I was growing up. So that's pretty cool. She said, "It's so beautiful, amazing." And Nandy adds, "I hope we get to jam one day." Wow. And thank you so much for supporting me on my musical journey with love and respect. Pretty neat. Made her year probably there. Tom's a good guy too. I'm a Star Wars fan. He's both Star Trek and Star Wars fan too. But and I played a lot of Rage Against the Machine songs when they were out. And it was always fun trying to figure out a way to get his sounds, even if you didn't have the same gear that Tom had. So let's see here. Let's head on back over to the chat for a minute. Evan said made her decade. Yeah, that is pretty neat. And Coke says Tom Morello is pretty decent too. Yeah, he's a really good guitar player. Really creative, the way it should be with guitar. You know, he's not trying to be somebody else. He's definitely an original. So we're gonna head on over here to the next story. We got about 4 or 5 today, and our next story, it comes from InsideEdition.com, and that is Kurt Cobain's guitar from '93 Unplugged performance sells for $6 million. The rare guitar used by Nirvana's Kurt Cobain during his band's infamous '93 MTV Unplugged performance is sold for a record-breaking $6 million at auction. It's a 59 D18E Martin guitar, and it broke a previous record for a guitar sold at auction set last year by David Gilmour with his '69 black Fender Stratocaster, which went for $3,975,000. And Julian's auction sold the guitar to Australian businessman Peter Friedman, owner of Rode Microphones. He'd be a good friend to have. Friedman also received the original hardshell case, a Poison Idea Feel the Darkness sticker, a few baggage claim stubs, 3 Dunlop guitar picks, partial set of guitar strings, and a black velvet pouch containing a number of lapel pins. So when I heard that this iconic guitar was up for auction, I immediately knew it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to secure it and use it as a vehicle to spotlight the struggles that those in performing arts have always faced. The acoustic guitar used by the Nirvana frontman was initially expected to sell for over $1 million at auction. And we've talked a little bit about this guitar. Let's see if they have a picture of the guitar. No, just a bunch of ads. Looks like if you have sore knees, you put some looks like weed on your knee. Watch and see what happens. Nice ad there. But don't have a picture of the guitar. Maybe I'll go look for one in a minute or two. But I'm going to go back over to the chat. What do you guys think about that Unplugged performance? Do you remember when it came out? I do. Do you remember? How about the Unplugged series in general? Does anyone ever go back and look at those? There's the main ones. They did a lot of the Unplugs, and the main ones are okay. There's the REM I really liked, the Nirvana one I liked, and the Clapton ones I liked. And those are the ones that you see all the time. But there were a lot more than that. And the one that seems to get swept under the rug a good bit, which is probably my favorite, was the Stevie Ray Vaughan Unplugged. particularly when he was playing the 12 string, the Life by the Drop, and I need to go back and see that's the one I remember. I need to go back and listen to those, but just fantastic. There were so many really good ones. There were some really kind of ones too, but the LL Cool J one, that was really good. I got to go back and watch that again. That was fun. David says, I hate to say this, but never a big Nirvana fan. Yeah, it wasn't Nirvana wasn't. I always liked the drummer, of course, and being a guitar player that was into lead guitar and those things, there wasn't a whole lot there for me for that. And I had one or two. I bought, I give everything a shot, but after the initial album that I bought, I didn't really buy any more of that. But being a guitar teacher, I've had to teach a lot of Nirvana songs, a lot of them. So I got to, kind of pick apart what's going on in there. And every once in a while, there's some cool stuff. Chris was more into Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah, they were great. We played a lot. We played a lot more Smashing Pumpkins when I was doing covers than we did in Nirvana. There was some really good stuff. And Brennan says, have to go back, excuse me, and watch the Stevie Ray Vaughan Unplugged. It was really, really good. I think he shared it with someone. I think it was like Joe It might have been, let me look that up real quick. I may, I could be wrong. I'm going to wait till I say it. Yep, it was Joe Satriani and Stevie Ray Vaughan. They kind of split one. It was an Unplugged. It was in 1990. Brennan says, looks like Joe Satriani's on the same episode. Yeah, it was a good one. I'm definitely going back and watching that. Nirvana Unplugged, Where Did You Sleep Last Night? Yep, that was good. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. Let's see. I'm going to type in some more Unplugged. Some classic ones. Maybe if there's a list. I'm going to go Wikipedia. See if there's a list. Wow. Joe Walsh, Don Henley, LL Cool J. It's a whole bunch of these. There's the Clapton one. Queensryche. I got to go back and watch that. I don't even remember that one. I used to really like Queensryche. Annie Lennox. That would be cool. I like that. Midnight Oil, Rod Stewart, Duran Duran, Nirvana, Springsteen performed where most of his show was okay. So that was kind of an in concert. I guess it was supposed to be unplugged, but he did it with amplified instruments. Dylan did one. 10,000 Maniacs did one. The Eagles. Oh, that was that Hell Freezes Over one. Yeah. There was a bunch. The Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, Stone Temple Pilots. Yes, that was a good one. I really liked that one too. And then they got into the last years of it. I think Hole did one, Live did one, and Kiss did a reunion. Man, I don't even think I saw that. Chris Isaac. And I'm just having fun looking at the Alice in Chains. I remember the Alice in Chains. Oasis. So many good ones. I'll stop right there, man. So many good ones. Let's see what we got. Chris says, I've seen the Poison one. Not so great. Okay. Yeah. I didn't even get to that one yet. Might check out the Duran Duran one. And Kevin says, I didn't have cable. I was more of an Austin Limits guy. I loved Austin City Limits. I got to play on the mountain stages was one. It has really good stuff. We played that, and that was mountain stages. It was West Virginia. So it was kind of like Austin City Limits, but for Virginia. And that was the one where I got to jam with Kim Wilson and some guys from NRBQ and some of the guys from Robert Cray's band. What they would do is it was this really cool old theater, and they would have 4 different bands come in and play. And so you do, I think it was half-hour sets, maybe. I think maybe not even that. So they'd have all 4 bands play, and then at the end of the night they had a jam, and they'd split that up into 2 shows, so there would be 2 bands each. And so ours was with Robert Cray and Kim Wilson's band, where they were doing really traditional blues stuff. And then there was NRBQ, and then E.G. Kite, which was who I played with. And man, I'd love to see I'd love to see that. I haven't seen it in a long time. But let's see here. Chris said, I'll check out this Stone Temple Pilots one too. And Wicked Garden. It's one of his favorite tracks. And Chris says, I have the Alice in Chains CD. That was a good one. The Unplugged album. Yeah, good stuff, man. Pretty good. Okay, so let's head back to the news a little bit. All right. There we go. So the next story we have is PRS Guitars unveils their beautiful new, the SE Hollow Body 2. It's got a piezo-equipped guitar. The jewel factor is high today with the announcement of the PRS Guitars SE Hollow Body. And PRS lovers now have the flexibility of coaxing both acoustic and electric tones out of one guitar at an affordable price. As the piezo, however you say it, feature was previously only available in the manufacturer's higher end models. And sticking one on an electric guitar is not a new idea, but Paul Reed Smith demands high quality control. So for the SE's piezo, I've never known how to say that, pronounce that correctly. In fact, I hear so many people saying it differently, so it's hard to find out. PRS worked closely with Lloyd Baggs and the LR Baggs team, and the result combines the clear resonant tone of the hollow body instrument with the power and stability of a solid body electric guitar. The guitar's body features a maple top and back with mahogany sides, neck, ebony fretboard, 22 frets, 25-inch scale, and 58/15 S pickups. 2-color designs are available: black gold burst and peacock blue burst. Pretty cool. Let's take a look here. See if we. So I've played some of these. I played the PRS. It wasn't an SE. It was the regular Paul Reed Smith's, and it was fat. It was like about twice as thick as this image is of the guitar, and it was very resonant. When you plugged in, it was really lively, which is what I love about those. But this seems more manageable than the one I played. Still has the bird inlays. There is the so you have your acoustic out, your magnetic out, and an easy place to get the battery. That makes sense. Oh, that's cool, man. I like the brown one. I think that looks pretty neat. And there's a video. Yeah, pretty neat stuff, man. I could have used that many times instead of having drag an acoustic guitar out there. with me. With me. So Joe's okay. So we're still talking about the Joe would have liked to seen Al Di Meola and Paco de Lucia, and he also says I remember the Queensryche one. It was pretty good. Yeah, I'd like to see that again, man. That'd be interesting. I know they're still playing, but then there's Jeff Tate's got a band, and then the band's got a band, and they don't like each other, and it's kind of confusing. So I haven't seen them play in a long time. It looks pretty cool. Okay. Let's try and set something up here. We have one more. It's another guitar. This one looks pretty cool. All right, let's head on over there. Fender Japan introduces luxurious indigo dye, Stratocaster, and Telecaster. Custom finishes inspired by traditional indigo dyeing technology. That looks pretty cool to me. So they've got a Tele and a Strat. Got the lipstick pickups. Just going to scan through this instead of read the whole thing. To achieve an effect similar to that seen on denim clothing, the guitar's bodies were dipped into jars of indigo dye over a dozen times over a period of time. And so it looks more purple to, I guess, indigo. But that's across their alder bodies with the quilt maple tops. Anodized aluminum pickguards and roasted maple necks with rosewood fingerboards. There's the Tele right there, and some pants over here with sandals. Goodness gracious. So just 15 of the, okay, this is a limited thing. 15 of these stunning offerings will be produced. And it's often, what's that, $3,800 a piece. They're only going to be available in Japan. Do we have anyone in Japan with us today? You never know. Never know. Chris says the Strat looks amazing. What's not to like? Yeah. So let's go to Japan and buy a bunch of them and bring them back. What do you say? Need to get some friends in Japan. Yep, the pants look amazing, Chris. They do. Oh, that's good. Kevin says only 3,800. I'll take two. And Coke says the denim color is my jam. I'll have one of each. Yeah, let's see if there's any more. No, that's all the pictures. Let's go back to the top. Yeah, that is pretty neat. And the gold hardware looks great on it too. I like the pickguard too. Everything looks really good. Yeah, that'd be fun. I'd be afraid to mess it up. Well, that was the last story we're getting into today. So we'll just kind of hang out for a little bit, maybe about 10 to 15 minutes more, and we'll do a little community news. If anybody has anything new going on, the biggest news for me I had is when I've been experimenting with the founding members videos, and I've been doing something which you guys have seen, where I record my reaction to your videos as we go. And something new that happened that has never happened since we've been doing these before is as I put the videos up, YouTube flagged any video that had a song in it. So for those of you who are wanting me to see your songs, check your YouTube channel and make sure that you don't have a copyright claim on those songs. So that's new. So I'm going to be going back to the old way we do this, and I'm going to watch the videos. That way we make sure don't get any copyright mess. with that. And so, and I'm sure I'm going to be, some of them have come in already. I'm going to do some tonight and some in the morning, I think, make them go a little bit faster. But really good. It was a lot of fun last week. I had a whole weekend of lesson videos, getting to know everybody. Some came in late. I think a few people's came in late. I'm gonna have to get to those this weekend because I had a jam-packed week this week. But let's see here. Chris says, "Yeah, I saw that. We'll keep it straight." Yeah, just I think from the ones that I got, they weren't strikes. There's two kinds of copyright on YouTube. There's a copyright claim, and there's a copyright strike. So strikes are the ones you don't want. You get 3 of those, they can take your YouTube channel away. A copyright claim just means if you're going to put that out on YouTube, which doesn't make sense because we were doing these unlisted, if you're going to put it out on YouTube, that someone would take the money for it. That's the whole point of it. So anyway, coaching videos, just make sure if you want me to see you playing a song and taking a look at it or something like that, it might be better just to email it straight to me, than using YouTube. But or just let me know what the problem is. We'll figure out how to do it. It'll get worked out. But as of right now, I'm just going to straight get those done. So let's see. There's been some chat going on here. Yeah, free pair of pants with each guitar, right? Yeah, man, they look good. They're comfy, right? Gloria's here. Hey, Gloria, how you doing? Good to see you. Evan says, I think I've settled on lyrics, so I'm going to be attempting vocals soon. Awesome. Oh, if at any time you see me hit the be right back screen, I've got packaged stuff that I have to deal with. So, but we're gonna be here for about 10 more minutes, so maybe that won't have to happen. But okay, so Evan's looking forward to that, and don't be nervous. We're gonna say really nice stuff about your singing. Okay, I'm ready for it. I'm ready to hear what's going on there. I think it's gonna be exciting. It's exciting, man. It's exciting. I'll have to put something up too one of these days when we get everything going on. Let's see what we've got. Everybody said hi to Gloria. And let's see. Lee says, Lee, do you still want videos in before Saturday morning, founding members? Yeah. That's when if I can on a Friday night, I'll get to some of them. But Saturday morning at 9, usually Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. That's when the videos should be in. For founding. Well, actually, no. I do founding members videos on Sunday. So if you want to do 9 a.m. on Sunday for founding members, that's what we'll have it. We'll have it in groups. I think that's how I'm thinking of it, in groups. So we'll have it in groups. So founding members videos, I'll start Sunday at 9 a.m. So that, that's when you could do that. And for the group that just came in last week, I'll be doing theirs on Saturday. So Saturday at 9 a.m. Okay. David says, is there a topic for Saturday chat? Yes. Evan R is going to be my guest for Saturday chat, and he's had actually a lot of topics come up. And I'm going to see if I can get my email program going here. We got a few. We've got a few. One of them was the PRs we just talked about. The one that he sent me a lot of great ones, but the one I want to talk about is with pedals, and expensive pedals. So I think that's what we're gonna talk about tomorrow. I have to get back in touch with them by email tonight. I'm just my week is just starting to slow down right now, but I think we're gonna be talking about how good does a pedal have to be worth $300, you know? And I have some stories about pedals that and prices, and when is it worth it to spend some serious money on some guitar pedals? Is it worth it? So I think that's what Evan and I are gonna talk about tomorrow. And see any other news so Academy news. No, that's going to be it. The YouTube thing, just talked about that. Getting everything settled for the newer students. Usually what happens when you have coaching is it takes a week or two to kind of really narrow down what we're going to do. And so I think I've got Gloria's, and some are coming in by email, and some people are posting up there. Either way is fine. I will always post my response in the coaching section in the academy. But yeah, I think I've all of that. I did mention earlier that throughout the week, the editing that I'm doing on the live podcast takes up the whole week to get them out. And in fact, this week I couldn't even get to all of it. So as we get closer, I've got some work to do on the academy. I may drop that off for a few weeks to use that time in the week to finish the academy out before we get started there. So and also I've got another, was it David Sparrow? I think I'm going to have him. He may have him on Sunday, I think. So we may do 2 guitar talks this week. David says, I got a gift card for Father's Day for Sam Ash, trying to decide between a looper pedal or an audio interface. That's either one of those is important. Yeah, that's a tough one to help either way. David, which way are you leaning? Leaning for the pedal or the audio interface? Let me see back here. Evan had. Well, let's just talk about it. Let's talk about what kind of also what kind of like price range are you going for? Are you going for middle of the road or really cheap? Talk about audio interfaces. That would be a good thing to talk about for the next 5-10 minutes here. So the big one for audio interfaces that a lot of people get is the Focusrite, the Scarlett. It's the little, one input. I think they have the 2i2. That's like $159, and the Scarlett is $109. Now, I have been using PreSonus for a long time. And what I'm using now, the Studio Live, the board that I've showed you guys before, is PreSonus. And and I had, just like Evan's talking about, he has an AudioBox 96. And I actually had the computers that I have right now don't work nicely with the AudioBox 96. The one I had before, which was just the AudioBox USB, it broke. And so I went and tried to replace it with a new one. And I hadn't used it in a long time. And with with the USB on both of my computers, which are both pretty new upgraded computers, it didn't play well with them. So I ended up going back and forth with them for several weeks, and it didn't work. Where it worked on my older computers perfectly. So that was an issue for me. So if I was going to get something like that, if I had an older computer, that would be fine. If I had a newer computer, I would probably go with the Focusrite. But there's a bunch of good ones. You're all going to be around like the $100 mark, unless you go with like Behringer or something like that. I used to use FireWire, but now USB is really doing well. But the Focusrite seems to be there's the Universal Audio. Those tend to be on higher end. The Motu, is higher end too. And there's the PreSonus AudioBox USB 96. Yeah, which is $99 right now, which I used for a long time. It's great. I've been using PreSonus stuff. I had a FirePod for a while, for one of their first ones that came out. I had like 8. I had actually 2 of them that I linked together. M Audio, yeah, M Audio. With the M Audio, you get into the Pro Tools kind of infrastructure where you'll get a what do you get? Pro Tools. I forget what the so let's see. They've got the M Audio Air 192.4. It's about $100. Let's see if it's still. Pro Tools First comes with it, and you also get Ableton Live Lite. So you get kind of into the Pro Tools thing if that's what you're into. I never got into Pro Tools because it's a lot easier now, but before it only worked with certain hardware, so it wasn't a mix and match type thing. Yeah, and honestly, as far as audio, the way it sounds between any of those $100 to $150 ones, you're not going to notice the difference. They're all really good, much better, than when I started recording. You can get really great results for very affordable price. Kevin says, let's all put an order in and try and get a bulk discount. Yeah. Dave says, I've been looking at the Focusrite for a while and a looper. And we'll talk about loopers in just a second. And Evan says, you'd be happy with the Focusrite. Yeah, a lot of people are happy with that. I think PreSonus, all of their PreSonus uses a program called Universal Control. As kind of control. It's the software in between your hardware and your DAW or your recording software, and it just sets the sample rate and the block size and the input format and all those kind of things. And it's universal for all their products. So I use the same the board I have is the Studio Live AR12 USB, and using the same drivers, the same program, it didn't work with the $100 one, the USB, the 96 USB, but it worked with the big one. So I just think they need to update for newer computers. Joe has the Focusrite and he loves it. Yeah, I would. That you can't go wrong with that at all. Can't go wrong with it. Okay, and let's talk about loopers. We've talked a lot about loopers. What was it? On the low end with loopers, Josh uses the Rowan, which is like $50-$60. I've used the the TC, the Ditto and the Ditto Plus. The Ditto looks like it's about 118 now. Oh, the Ditto X2, that's the next one, is like 180 to 175 bucks right now. And then, it goes on up from there. The Boss ones are pretty good. A lot of these companies, they're all selling some of the same, you get the same sonic quality from all of them. It's just how they work. And if you like the way that the user interface is. Evan says, I'd have bought the Focusrite myself, but my brother got me the PreSonus for Christmas. I'm really happy with it though. Yeah, the PreSonus works great. It's finicky depending on the computer that you're using. If it works well with your computer, no problems at all. David says, I keep adding, so when I can actually play, I'll be set. Forethought, right? Getting it all ready. You're playing, man. You're playing. The other one that a lot of people like is the Boss Loop Station. The expensive one that I have that I use for my acoustic gig is the Infinity Looper pedal, and that's $450, and it does a lot of stuff, and I needed it for that, so it was worth getting for what I needed it for, but don't need all those things now. Gloria says, me too. Yeah, getting the gear, man. You can get the gear right away. Well, all right, everybody. If anyone has any questions, let me know. I'm gonna close it up in a few minutes. Very happy to help you with any questions that you have. I'll be getting coaching videos done this weekend. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's videos, and so I'll make a note in the coaching section, like a broadcast to everybody tonight that we kind of landed on founding members on Sunday and newer members on Saturday, and getting them in by 9:00 and before I get started. So don't have to have them early, just by the time I get started. That's when we'll get to them. And I'm going to try and get through the week. Some people have put some posts up there. I'd like to be able to get to those a little bit through the week too. So I'm going to set some time aside, maybe on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, to go through there if there's any issues during the week that I wasn't able to get to this week, but I'm going to make an effort to do that. So Coke says, have a good evening, everybody. You too, man. Hope you're doing good. Everybody stay in. If you're in Florida, don't go out. Stay in, man. Joe loves his Focusrite. Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, that one seems to be like the one that's the can't go wrong with there. All right, everybody. Have a great week. I'm going to go ahead and call it. We'll see you tomorrow. Evan Rychek, Evan R, is going to join me tomorrow, and we're going to talk about pedals a little bit, and then we may have another guitar talk on Sunday, and then on Monday we're going to do the podcast. Who knows who it's going to be, but I've got some good ideas right now. Okay, thanks Evan and Joe, Gloria. Thanks Brennan. Thank you, Coke. Great to see you. Kevin, David, and let's see, Evan. I think I said Evan before. I think Master of None was here too. Joe, Chris Ward. Thank you for the news stories too, Chris. I really appreciate it. Brennan. Scrolling back here. If I missed anybody, I apologize. But look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow. Have a nice Friday night and stay safe, everybody. Bye-bye.